Good evening, friends. Meeting again the session of homeopathic philosophy, and we are discussing regarding the Kant's philosophy. Yesterday, we have started discussing most difficult, boring part, a more theoretical part from the Kant's philosophy, and that is the lecture about the simple substance. Basically, it is necessary to understand the only concepts behind that. He has tried to correlate to show to the world that the vital force, when we talk about the vital force, when we talk about the vital principle, when we talk about the vital energy, it is an entity which is substantial. Without taking the help of the substance, without taking the help of the physical things, it is not possible to show its expressions. And that's why he has labeled it, this vital force, vital energy, as a simple substance. He said it because without that you cannot understand the concept. And to show to the world and modern medicine the concepts in the homeopathy, how scientific they are, for that purpose he has written this specific topic. So he started with the aphorism 9 and he tried to explain his own concepts behind that. So aphorism 9, Hahnemann defines the vital force, that is in the healthy condition of man, the spiritual vital force, the dynamis that animates the material body, rules with unbounded sway and retains all the parts of the organism in admirable, harmonious, vital operation as regards both sensations and functions, so that our indwelling reason gifted mind can freely employ this living healthy instrument for the higher purposes of our life. This definition itself includes every aspect about the vital force, where Hellman take into consideration the physical aspect of the human life as well as the dynamic aspect of the human life. And it itself suggests that Hahnemann was not an idealist, but Hahnemann was substantialist. Kant wants to explain the same thing. Kant wants to explain, yes, vital force is not entity which is superstitious, but vital force is the entity which has a substantial value. And that's why he tried to explain this vital force in a in a scientific word, and that's why he trying to correlate his thoughts regarding the vital. We have finished certain aspects about it in last lecture. Let us go ahead with the next paragraph. The materialist, to be consistent with his principles, is obliged to deny the soul. And this is the thought. Those people who are materialistic or who are from the materialistic philosophy, who used to take into consideration only physical aspects, they deny the soul, existence of soul, and to deny the substantial God, because the energy which he dwells upon so much is nothing, and he must assume that God is nothing, and therefore there is none. So materialist takes into consideration only one aspect of the life, the physical aspect, and that's why they don't believe in God, they don't believe in soul, they don't believe in vital force, vital energy. But the one who is rational will be led to see that there is supreme God, that he is substantial, and that he is the substance. And those who used to consider the take into consideration the holistic approach, then these peoples considers both the aspects, the dynamic as well as the physical, and then they starts believing the word. Then they consider the soul, then they consider the vital energy, then they consider the vital force. And all these entities have a specifically substantial value. We used to say the God doesn't have its own existence, but still we make the we give it a shape. We make a shape of every god in a different manner. Why? To understand God, it is necessary to have its own substance, and that's why we prepare Ganpati, we prepare the Maruti. All those things we prepare, it is for the purpose of understanding, the message goes inside when the dynamic things gets associated with the substantial things or substance. Then it becomes very easy for understanding. And same is true when you have to understand the vital force or vital energy. It is necessary to take the help of a human substance. He is substantial and he is a substance. Everything proceeds from him, and the whole series from the supreme to the most ultimate matter in this way is connected. Just as surely as there is separation and not a continuous influx from the first to last, ultimates will cease to exist. So, if this never happens, if you don't consider the God, then you were nowhere. Then you cannot find it out from where the human came into existence and from where it will go into. You cannot understand the things unless and until you believe properly on the basis of cause and effect. In the similar manner, you consider the concept of vital force or vital need. The true holding together of the material world is performed by simple substance. There are two worlds that come apparently to the mind of man, the world of thought and the world of matter. That is, the world of immaterial substance and the world of material substance. The world of material substance is in order and harmony. Everything that appears before the eye is beginning, has a beginning. The forms are harmonious. Every crystal of metal crystallizes in accordance with the order. Man's very anatomy forms harmonious. Are you not getting my voice? It is clear over here. It shows clarity.
Now it's clear, sir.
Sometimes it happens maybe because of some reason, but internet connection is also good. Okay. So he is explaining there are two things which you have to consider together. On one side, the material aspect of the human life, another side, the dynamic aspect of the human life. The laws of material science are different, the laws of dynamics are different. Every material thing, it is very specific, it has a structure, it has a very specific shape, and it has its own beginning, it has its ending. But when you talk about the dynamic things, where you cannot find it out the beginning, where you cannot find it out the ending. The things are changes when you think about the dynamics, and thing changes when you think about the physical material. The world of material substance is in order and harmony. Everything that appears before the eye has beginning. The forms are harmonious. Every crystal of metal crystallizes in accordance with order. Man's very anatomy forms harmonious. So the physical structures, if there is, you can find it out order, you can find it out structure, you can find it out shape. Everything you can define when the things are material. We see nothing in material world to account for these, but we perceive that all things are held in position because of the continuous influx from the first to last. There is no break in the chain and no break in the flow of power from first to last. Nothing can exist unless its cause is inflowing into it continuously. We see that all things made by man, man's hand, decay and fall into pieces in time. But look at things perpetuated from influx. Look at their order and harmony from time to eternity, working by same plan and in same order. Eternity means ananta. So see what he is explaining. He is explaining that when you have to take into consideration material along with the dynamic, then there is a continuous influx of the energy. This flow is there and which maintains the harmony, and all harmonies runs right from the birth to the end. And there continues, there is continuous change. It chain, it happens to be there. And this chain persists for longer time. And this has twofold existence. One existence as a material human being, one existence as a dynamic human being. The material is only the physical body, anatomy, but dynamic is his soul, dynamic is his mind, dynamic is his emotion, dynamic is his logic, dynamic is his vital energy. So all those things comes together, and that because of which that body has an existence. Without that, that body doesn't have its own existence. And this is what he tries to explain over there. There are many qualities predicated of simple substance. And one of the first propositions we have to consider is that simple substance is endowed with formative intelligence. That is, it intelligently operates and forms the economy of the whole animal, vegetable, and mineral kingdoms. There are certain qualities of the simple substance. That means there are qualities of the life. Simple substance means vital principle, life principle. Close has explained it in the similar manner. Kant also explains it. The first important quality is that it has its own intelligence. And this intelligence is there because of which we used to use our thoughts, we used to use our logic. What is an intelligence? I used to make a simple definition. It is the faculty of brain which, with the help of logic and memory, comes to a deduction, is the intellect. And that intellect is part of this life principle, simple substance, because of which organization happens, because of which the reproduction happens, because of the life, because of the which life comes. This has its own quality, and intelligence is there because it orders, it rules, it asks the cells to divide, redivide, and it defines the functions to every cell, and accordingly that cell gets converted into a specific organ. Originally they are all same cells, but ultimately they get changed. How they change? Who governs this? Who tells them that to form as a substance of eye, to form it as a brain, to form it as a nose, to form it as a mouth, to form it as a chest? Who defines this vital substance which is intelligent enough, which defines, which gives this specific thing, and because of which it develops? So it has a formative intelligence. This is what is explaining. Vital force is having its formative intelligence. That is, it intelligently operates and forms the economy of the whole animal, vegetable, and mineral kingdom. Everything from with form goes on its natural course and assumes and continues its own private state. The laws of chemistry by analysis may be so revealed to the man that he can detect all elements because they conduct themselves uniformly. The simple substance gives to everything its own type of life, gives it distinction, gives it identity, whereby it differs from all other things. So this simple substance, this vital force, gives an individuality to every individual, every physical structure. And that's why myself, I am different than others. Between you and me, there is a difference. This is because this vital principle is different in everyone. This simple substance gives different quality. Everyone's intelligence is different, everyone's emotional quotient is different, everyone's thoughts are different, everyone's logic is different, and that's why you have unique identity. And this has been given to you only because of this simple substance. The crystal of the earth has its own association, its own identity. It is endowed with the simple substance that will establish its identity from everything in the animal kingdom, from everything in mineral kingdom. This is due to the formative intelligence of simple substance, which is continuous from its beginnings to its end. If we examine the frostwork upon the window, we see its tendency to manifest formative intelligence. Plant grows in fixed form, so it is with the man from his beginning to his end. There is continuous influx into man from his cause. Hence, man and all the forms are subject to the laws of influx. If man is in the highest order and is rational, he wills to keep himself in continuous order, that his thoughts may continue rational, but he is so placed in freedom that he can also destroy his rationality. So everything in on this earth, in this universe, not on this earth, but in this universe, has this energy, vital energy. We have to take into consideration where this is not only in the human being. This is there with the plants. This is there with the animals. This is there with the planets. Every planet has its own energy. Every planet revolves around that sun in a specific manner and it never changes its direction because it has its own energy and that energy has a different specific force along with the sun energy, and that's why the revolving orbit remains to be the same. That also has its own intelligence. That's why it produces its own effects everywhere. Whenever it comes in close contact with the human being, it affects or it produces its effects on the human life also. So see, these are the very important things one has to understand. This vital principle, vital force, vital energy is present everywhere in this universe. We grab this. We grab this with different ways. The our body moves, our body requires energy, our body produces energy. But from what? The energy in the different form we consume in the form of water, in the form of food, in the form of air, in the form of oxygen. And then it is converted into a vital energy because of which we used to move, we used to function, we used to reproduce, we grow, our development happens. So this vital energy is present everywhere in this universe, including the planets, and every planet has its own existence. They are different. The Saturn is different from the Mars. Every planet, Jupiter is different, and every planet has its own existence because of that vital energy. This is there because they are revolving, otherwise they would be stagnant. It is not so. So he is explaining the concepts very clearly and he is explaining at the same time this energy of the planets also works on the human being. And this he wants to explain in such a nice manner. He is going into the depth of understanding simple substance, that it is not only related with the human being, it is related everywhere in the universe. What he further says, the substance is the subject to changes. In other words, it may be flowing in order or disorder, may be sick or normal, and the changes to a great extent may be observed or even created by man himself. Man may cause it to flow in disorder. So whenever it relates with the man, the influx, the order, the man himself is responsible to bring it again into order to disorder. When man never follows the nature's laws, he goes against that. The order goes into disorder, the ease goes into disease, and there is a disturbance. But if he follows the nature's laws, but there are certain things which happens around you, which affects you and disturbs you, that also causes the ease to disease. That also causes the order to disorder. Who is disturbed? The disturbance is there in the environment, the inimical environment. The environment is inimical. You don't want to do something, but you have to do it purposefully. What happens? You get disturbed, you get affected, and because of which the ease goes and disease comes. So there are two basic reasons why you get diseased. First reason is that first you don't follow the nature's laws. You go against the nature. That is the first important reason. And if it is not so, the second is you are in inimical environment. Inimical means not going with your own thoughts. It is inimical to your thoughts. It is inimical to your desires. It is inimical to your uh, cravings. When the things goes against your thoughts, they are inimical. And then it causes troubles. It disturbs you. And who is getting disturbed? The vital force, the vital energy, the vital principle gets disturbed. Body never gets. Body only shows the expressions of it. What gets disturbed is your principle. You get a quarrel with someone because your thoughts are different, his thoughts are different, and what happens later on? Your mood is not there. You are disturbed. Who is disturbed? Your vital principle, the simple substance is disturbed. Reflection is there on body. Reflection is there on your countenance. Reflection is there on your in your body language. That is expression. And disturbance is at the center, at the level of this simple substance. Any simple substance may pervade the entire material substance without disturbing or replacing it. Magnetism may occupy a substance and not displace any of it, nor cause derangement of its particles or crystal. Cohesion is simple substance. It is not the purpose of cohesion to disturb or displace the substance that it occupies. Therefore, this first substance or primitive substance exists as such in all distinct forms or growths of concrete forms, and the material concretes and the material concrete individual entity is not disturbed or displaced by simple substance. The simple substance is capable of occupying the material substance without accident to that substance or itself. See, this is very clearly he tries to correlate. If forget about those things, first understand it in simple language. There is a magnet with you. There is an iron piece is there. The magnet starts working of if you make it close to the iron piece, the magnet starts producing its own properties on iron piece. It transmits its own magnetic energy to it, and it gets attracted towards the magnet. But if it has been kept under certain distance, then that magnetic properties enters into that iron piece without making any change in the structure of that iron piece. And that iron piece also starts showing the magnetic properties. It also attracts the another magnetic piece towards it. So how this happens? This happens that without changing any structural change, still it produces or it reflects its own properties over there in the iron piece. The same is true. The body structure remains as it is, which has been given to you by your parents. Vital force, vital principle enters you at the time of fertilization. There is no need to change the structure, it never changes. But then it gives life. Then it starts working. Then the further qualities starts happening over there. Single fertilized egg starts dividing, reproducing, it develops, and then again different organs develop, different system develops, then human being develops, brain develops, intelligence develops, everything comes out right from the fertilized egg when that simple substance enters in that specific. But it itself gives orders. It shows its own intelligence and accordingly develops. Structure is original, but it gives its own orders according to its own identity. And that's why everyone's identity is different from another. And who gives it? It is being given by the simple substance. So Kant has tried to explain the concepts more clear in your mind. And last paragraph, which we'll discuss today. When the simple substance is an active substance, it dominates and controls the body it occupies. And this is so. Once it dominates, finished, everything is done according to that simple substance. In the morning, the first thought comes whether to go for college or not to go for a college. Immediately, your body follows it. Who is dominating? The dominating is your vital principle, vital force, simple substance, who has a mind occupied in the mind. It is the cause of the force. The body does not move, think, or act unless it has its interior degree of immaterial substance which acts upon the economy continuously in the most beautiful manner. But as soon as the body is separated from its characterizing simple substance, there is cessation of influx. The energy derived from the simple substance keeps all things in order, but it are kept in order all functions and the perpetuation of of the forms and proportions of every animal, plant, and mineral. All operations that is possible is due to the simple substance. And by it, the very universe itself is kept in order. It not only operates every material substance, but it is the cause of cooperation of all things. Very perfect thing which is explained. Because of which the order is maintained. You don't know you are taking the breath. It is going on. Without knowledge, it is going on continuously. At the same time, the lungs absorbs the oxygen, leaves the carbon dioxide. It enters into circulation. It reaches to each and every cell. It reaches to the brain. It reaches to the kidneys, everywhere. If you think over it, then you will understand who maintains this harmony, who maintains this order, how this has been followed continuously. The continuous influx is there. Every time this is going on and on and on and on. Who is there? This is the basic quality of this simple substance. And what is this? It not only maintains the human body, it maintains the plants. They also grows with their own way. They also develops in their own manner. The planets also moves in their proper chain, proper order, proper orbits. Everywhere, this simple substance, which is present, which is maintaining and integrating and maintaining the order between them. And if you understand this, and if you understand this in relation with the human health and disease, then you will understand how the disease develops and how to treat that disease, where to work and where not to work. So no disease develops without this disturbance of this vital principle or simple substance. Once it is disturbed, then only the signs and symptoms starts appearing, reflects in the form of disease. So the concepts he tries to make it very, very clear and tries to explain all things over detailed manner. It looks little bit theoretical, but once your concepts are clear, you can explain to anyone who is sitting in front of you. You can explain all thoughts in a scientific manner. And for that purpose, learning the Kant's philosophy is very important. If we know our philosophy properly, you can answer anyone, even though there is a person who is of a highest degree comes to you in front of you from the modern side. You don't have to worry because if your concepts are clear, there is no question of worry. And that's why it is so much necessary to learn the philosophy, to understand philosophy, and you can explain everything. So that's all for today. We'll stop over here and we'll discuss it tomorrow. We'll take these short topics, make the things clear in our mind so that everyone will understand what is exactly meant by this simple substance. And today evening, we'll continue with the concluding part of the Calcaria part. Already two sessions we have discussed. Today, one more session with some cases I will going to discuss, and that will be again important topic, important remedy from practice point of view as well as exam point of view. So any query, any question is there, then we'll have a chat. Otherwise, we'll conclude. Yes,
Sir,
sir.
one question. Other than philosophy, sir, mm, in case of CBA,
In case of
we can manage, sir, the Arnica for hello for preliminary cases. Hello.
Yes.
Sir, in case of CBA, can you use Arnica in CBA?
CVA means cerebrovascular accidents you want to do.
Accidents, cerebrovascular accident.
Okay.
Arnica we can give, sir, in
Arnica is logically to absorb the blood, it's okay. But whether it is because of injury, if it is because of injury, then it's arnica is the remedy. But if it not because of injury, then you have to think specifically on the symptomatology. If it is left-sided paralysis, if it is right-sided paralysis, what symptoms are there, how it has happened, everything which you have to take into consideration. Don't apply only the logic, give a arnica to absorb the hemorrhage over there. No, it never works like that. So,
Okay, sir, but it is hemorrhagic, sir. Hemorrhagic
yes, hemorrhagic,
severe.
you can think about it, you can use. And basically, if it is because of head injury, definitely it plays its own role.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Anything else? So we'll
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we'll meet today evening at 8:30. Thanks a lot.